Hello and welcome to my homestead. We are now in full mode for harvesting. So many things are beginning to produce, but especially beans. Just want to show you a few things. You can see the beans are loaded, lots of them. Absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot of production. Those green, regular beans, purple, and the white flat ones. Look at these. Like I said, they're in full production mode. Lovely. So it's harvest season. This is my favorite time of the year. In the summer, when everything begins to ripen, everything is producing. I just come out here so I can show you a little bit better, or at least it's easier to show. Look at these. Every single bush is loaded. I just have to pick them. Some of them are actually getting overgrown, like this. Nice big beans. Tomatoes have also started producing. I actually already harvested some of the earlier tomatoes, but you can see the next batch is getting ready to ripen. This is the black cherry. So a lot of activity here, a lot of harvest, a lot of things to harvest. Notice my daikon has all gone into bloom. These white flowers, these are the daikon. Right now I'm keeping them for the chickens and give them a few at a time. But the actual plants are down here. So if I'm gonna pull one, here's nice big daikon. You can see it sends some extra roots as it's going into bloom. So one by one I keep pulling them. There are peppers in here and some extra green peas. These are the late varieties that I planted, or I should say the last of the varieties. But they're also setting new pods. So still have some green peas here. And green peppers are beginning to set. We have been up in the hundreds, so the temperature have been really hot. I'm actually keeping the most of the grass in. I'm not pulling weeds, so that it can keep the soil a little bit moist, keeps it from getting too dry. Notice, so we have here potatoes. Potatoes will come out in the next 3 weeks or so. I have a few beets here. Notice that the garlic is gone. I pulled it out. Instead, new beets have been planted, as well as seeded some soybeans. Soybeans are just beginning to set. They're beginning to wake up. So, and I have a few squashes in here as well. Hopefully they will grow. But let me transition into that bed. So let's walk over there. I'll show you the beets here. I also have been harvesting beets from the other bed. But take a look at this. I know it's hard to see with everything, but this is a big beet. Actually, I can't even put my hand around it. It's bigger than my hand. It's nice, perfect size, and the chickens will love the greenery. So there are some more beets in there. Before I forget, there's one lonely cucumber here. I've also been picking cucumbers, and this is actually a perfect time to pick this one. So they're perfect for salad. Some of my lilies. Let's walk over to another area. So this is another area. I showed you the beets here before. They're getting also nice and big. Really big. So here is another example. Chicken loves, all the chickens love the greenery. The lettuce is almost done. As you can see, I've been picking all of the lettuce leaves. It's turned bitter, it's bolted, but I've been picking leaves for the chickens, and they love it. On this side, we have a lot of tomatoes beginning to form. Nice, beautiful tomatoes. I have tomatoes here. I have potatoes, corn, and more tomatoes on that side. I do have a couple of cucumbers and another extra. These are the lone A. So you can see they're lone. And they're climbing. Again, it's so hot, they're not really doing well. And the weeds are taking over everything. I have some beautiful cabbages setting up. In another couple of weeks, I'll be able to pick these. And some squash. Also getting ready to be picked. You can see the cabbages have been eaten by these bugs. I don't know what they are, but they have been relentless. Luckily, the netting is keeping most of them out, but not all of them. Here is a head of cabbage that has been chewed up pretty badly. I'm still keeping the netting because of all of the bugs, but it's not helping much. Like I said, in another couple of weeks, I'll take the netting down completely. More tomatoes here. Some of them are really very productive. Look at these. San Marzanas, lovely, very productive. Here is the, I believe this is the indigo rose. I thought it was a midnight passion, but it's not, it's an indigo rose. Very lovely. I'm hoping this is not blight because it's way too early in the season, but if it is, I'm going to be disappointed because these tomatoes are just starting to produce. And I'm hoping it's not going to kill them. There are some beans in here as well as some peppers. Here is the beans next to them. Again, everything is producing. I also have basil growing here. This is basil. You notice I snipped some of the tops so they can spread out and send new shoots from the sides and become more bushy. Basil will be very useful when we have canning season, when all of these tomatoes ripen, and we'll start canning them. So let's transition into the front orchard and I'll show you some peppers there. Before I go, I want to show you munchkins. They're doing quite well. They're also suffering from the heat. So during the day, they are under cover. I'm glad I put the tarp on for the extra shade. But once the sun is a little bit farther down, I can let them out into this new enclosure. And some of them just want to cuddle all the time. Hi, Lovey. Queenie. Hi, Beauty. Beauty likes cuddling. One of my favorite parts of the year is seeing when fruit forms, especially like peppers. There are quite a few of them here. Look at these. 1, 2, side by side. 3 on this side. Every single pepper has multiple babies or pepper fruits forming. And I love watching this. This one is a lawn variety. Best time of the year is watching as they grow. And in between, the watermelons are beginning to send runners. So soon enough they will cover the area and they will block out the weeds. The best combination so they can coexist. But really. Here's a look at some of my flowers. You can see different varieties. Here's the grape vine. Grapes are forming quite nicely. But mostly that's dahlias. They have been blooming for a while. Here's a beautiful yellow variety. And more on their way to open up. And of course these, I have many bushes of these. That's the ones that Jenny gave me. Lovely dark colors. But the main attraction for the flowers, for the pollinators, is right here. Again, dahlias are in full bloom here. I have some roses on this side. And lots of gladioli. Here is another dahlia, different variety. This gladiolus is almost done blooming. There are 2 of them. Another rose here. This red one is just getting ready to bloom, dark red. It's a similar variety as this. bright red color. This one is beginning to die off. Here is another one of the same variety. This variegated pink and white. There's a little bit of yellow. For some reason the colors are not showing really the way it should be. And of course the butterfly bush in the background always attracts the swallowtail butterflies and the monarch butterflies. Here are some of the different varieties of dahlias. Nice honeycomb pattern. And more gladiolas. For some reason they're showing more red than they're purple. These are actually deep pink, this purple tinge. There is another one getting ready to bloom, same variety. There are quite a few that have not opened yet. Beautiful dahlia, huge flowers. So as you can see, there are quite a few of them. It is a deep red. I have several of them. Another white. Another red and white. And this one was the first one. It's almost done blooming. It's a nice orange color. Right next to the blackberries. Blackberries are getting ready to ripen. And of course my roses. Unfortunately they're under constant attack by these guys. That's Japanese beetle. I need to figure out a way to fight them. And they're everywhere. I also have some of these flowers. I need to transplant them. Some daisies, almost done blooming. And these are just beginning. Beautiful white hydrangeas. So there's one more plant that's blooming right now that makes me very happy. And it's right here. This is my pomegranate. And it's hopefully setting fruit. I'm hoping that these two, at least one of them, had formed fruit. But the fact that it's blooming and it's growing really nicely makes me very, very happy. Blueberries here are almost done. There are a few still left green, still protected from the birds. And the birds are not happy about it. And beautiful blackberry. Look at the size of this. James kiwi is growing. This is why I call this particular segment a harvest, because this is what I absolutely love. The beans that I harvested today did not fit all into one bowl, so I had to switch to another bowl. These were actually picked last night, but that's a lot of blueberries still, a good couple of pounds. Here is the beetroot I'm gonna have for dinner tonight, together with daikon. I'm gonna roast them, maybe I'll stir fry them, and my one cucumber. So on this note, I'm gonna say good night and thank you for joining me. Until next time.